people don't know that you can use PowerPoint to achieve some different kinds of animation. Most people that use PowerPoint, they use it for presentation that has to do with text only. But you can actually bring in graphics and animate objects and, present very beautiful, fine, nice animation, just like what we have here. I'm going to animate these objects, this square, and let's see how it goes. Now you can see this square is rotating. First of all, it started from small, then it became larger, then it is rotating clockwise, and then it reverses again anti-clockwise and rotates clockwise, and then it becomes larger again. Now let's see how we can achieve this with PowerPoint. Right now I'm going to start from the beginning. Let's see how it goes. Like a new slide, right? New slide, blank presentation. Now let's take it from here. Right, now I'm going to remove this, click delete, click delete. Now I'm going to introduce the design, but before I do that, let me introduce let me introduce a design, then afterwards I put a background, just like what you saw. So I'm going to introduce a design, and I use insert. Now when I click on insert, I'm going to insert shapes, and I first of all click rectangle. So I draw, hold my mouse key down, my right key down, and draw. Now I've done this square, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the background of this square. So I right click on it, and then format the shape. I click on format shape. Right, now having done that, I'm going to remove the fill. It has the fill which you are seeing here. You have a solid fill, and there is a color. I'm going to say no fill, but I'm going to leave the line color at blue the way it is, and I say close. Now I've formed this particular object now, which is this particular square. So I'm going to click on it again, and then do Control D to duplicate it. So I move it a little bit to the right, this way, right, and the way it is, these are two identical squares. Now this one is moved a little bit to the right, but I'm going to make this square red, the line, the outline red, such that we can appreciate the movement when they start moving. So I'm going to right click on it. Let's try it again. I right click, and then I say format shape. I get to the format shape, and I choose line color, and this line color is blue. I'm going to make it red, so I click on red, then that's it. Right now, so I've got these two squares that are slightly separated from each other, the red one slightly to the right. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in the round shape. So I'm going to identify the round shape with these different squares. So let me first of all go back to my insert on my shapes. I select this oval. Now when I bring this oval down here, the center here, I draw, right? Okay, let me just pull this one a little bit away so that I can have that right at the center. So I take this one, bring it at the center. What I'm trying to do, sorry, I carry it. What I'm trying to do is to identify this particular circle with this particular square that is blue, and this circle is blue. So what I'm going to do, let me remove the outline of this circle just to make it a little bit finer. Let me say right click. Sorry, I didn't get it. Let me go back again. I do a right click, and then I format shape. By formatting shape, I'm going to make it, I'm going to remove the line color. So I come to line color and say no color. Right. So I say close. So right now I'm having this particular square with this circle. I want both of them to move together as if they are one. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this circle because I want to replicate the same circle here, but I'm going to make it red so that when they move, it moves with the red square. This one moves with the blue square. Now, like I did before, I can do Control D to duplicate it, and having duplicated it, I carry it down to this place. But now what is remaining for me is to make it red in color. So I click on it again and right click. So I go to format shape, and is a solid fill. I choose red. Now, beautiful. Close. So now I have these two. These are like two different squares. This one square with the red, then square with a red circle, then square with a blue circle. Let me move it a little bit. Good. So I stay right at the center. Now that I have this, the next thing is that because I want all of them to move in sync, to move together as if they are one, so I am going to select this and then hold my control key down. You can see the sign, the plus sign is in. If I click on this place now, the plus sign is also selecting this. So when I have selected these two, I am going to group them together. So let me go to my home tab and move my cursor to arrange, and in arrange I can say group. Now it means that these two are together now, so that means if I move this, the other one moves with it. If I move it, it moves with it. So both of them are together. Now this one are not yet together. I'm going to repeat the same thing. I click on it to highlight. I then hold my control key. You can see the plus sign, and also select this. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I go to arrange, click on arrange, and do what? Group them together. Now this one is also grouped together. You can see if I move this, it moves together, they move together. Now what is remaining for me to do is to make this a cube, just like you have the cube that was rotating at the beginning. So how do I achieve that? I'm going to join this line. I'm going to get a line from my insert. I get to my shapes, and then I get a line. So having gotten the line, I bring my cursor down to this place where you have the plus sign. I then hold my click my mouse key down and then move. Right. So I've connected the two together now. Having connected this, I'm going to highlight on it and say Control D to duplicate, so that I can take my cursor down to it. Holding my mouse key down, I carry this one again to this point. Right. Now, having done that, I am done with this. I can click on it again and Control D. So I carry once more down to this point. So I'm connecting them together now so that they look like a cube. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to Control D again, Control D, and then I carry this down to this point. Right. Now I have connected all of them. Right. Having done that, the next thing I need to make is to make sure that this, the way it is at the back, it remains at the back. The way this one is, that I've grouped both of them. I've grouped these two together, this square, the rectangle line, and this, but I'm going to make sure that they remain at the back. So I click on it and go back to my home tab and go to arrange and say send to back. Now the idea is that this is the end of the rectangle of this particular cube, so it wouldn't have to interfere with anything in front of it. Now it means that this one is in the front, so I click on it, they are grouped together. I also go to arrange and I say bring forward or bring to front. I bring it to front. Now I have what I want. Now the way they are now, the next thing for me to do is to group all of them together. But perhaps this line is very thin. Let me see if I can make this line thicker. If I click on it, I can right click. Oh, I didn't get it this time. I click, right click, and I say format shape. Now the shape that comes, this is the width of the line, which is 0.75 points. Maybe 2 points can do. I can say 2, right? I close. Now it's thicker now, just as thick as the other one, so I can make all of them 2 points. Now I ought to have made that initially and then start duplicating them, but since I didn't do that, I can still take my time to do that right now. So I do right click, format shape, and I'm going to make it 2 points as well, right? I make it 2 points and I close, and I come over here and right click and do format shape, and I also do the same, 2 points, right? I do the same down here. I right click, I say format shape, I make it 2 points as well, 2 points. Now the idea is that so that it will be big enough for you to appreciate it when they start moving, right? So I think this is not very well connected. Let me see if I can move it a little bit down. Okay, I think I got it right now. Now with what I have here now, the next thing for me to do is to select all of them by right clicking and pulling my mouse to highlight all of them. And the next thing I need to do, they are all selected. I go back to arrange, which is under the tab, home tab, and I click and I say group, right? So all of them are now grouped together. Now having done that, the next thing I want to do is to change the background so that it can look like the background we just saw. So right now I can click on this and click on design, and on design I go to background style. I click on the background and I say format background. I click on it. Now in format background I can use picture or texture fill. That means you can even select a picture or a texture. Now this one is great. I can change for any other one. Maybe this one is good too. I can pick on this. Now I say close. Now I have this. Now this is grouped together. It means I can move it to any point. They are all together. Now the next thing I need to do is to animate this object. How do I do that? I click on it once more and I go to animations tab. And in animations tab, I'm going to custom animation, right? Sorry, good. Now custom animation appears to the right here, and this is where I can add effect. So now let me first of all, what effect am I going to add first? I'm going to add the effect of increasing in size. So I can do this, reduce the size, pull it from here, reduce the size, right, pull it from here, reduce the size. Now I've done that, I can click on it again to highlight, and under add effect I choose what? Emphasize, and I use grow shrink. Now you can see that it's growing. So let's see, let's do some kind of slideshow. If I press my F5, when I click the mouse, it's on mouse click, it grows in size, right? So now I've achieved this. The next thing I want to do is to add the rotating effect. So how do I do that? I go back to add effect. While it is still selected, I click, and under emphasize I say spin. Now you can see it is spinning now. And this is where I choose how it's going to spin. Now it is spinning 360 degrees clockwise, and the speed is medium. I can decide to choose a speed that is slower. Maybe I can say very slow. You can see the thing is spinning now, right? Now, but another thing is, how long will it spin? Now if you look at this place, number one, the effect of number 1 is to grow in size. The effect of number 2 is to spin, right? So if I come in here and choose how it will spin, I can go to timing and say something like to repeat. That is, on click it should repeat like maybe 3 times, and I click OK. Now it means that when it's going right, it keeps repeating itself for 3 times, right? I can stop and then I add again. Remember, this area is for the spinning, this one is for increasing in size. So I go back to my spinning and I go to timing again, or I go to effects options. I have an option here. That option, I want to do auto reverse, so that when it spins in clockwise direction, automatically it will also spin in the reverse direction. I say OK. Now what is going to happen is that it spins this way. After spinning for 2-3 times the number of times, it now spin the other way. Now great, I have achieved this for this so far. So it can increase in size and then start spinning. After increasing in size, it starts spinning. Then I'm also going to make it to, after spinning for the number of times, it will increase in size again. So while I come back to it, I highlight it again, I go to add effect. Now I go back to emphasis and say grow shrink. Now good. So what we are having here is the number 1 is grow shrink, that is, it will increase in size. The number 2, it will start spinning, and the number 3, it will, from wherever it stopped, it will start growing in size again. So now if I say play, this is exactly what I'm going to achieve. If I highlight it, all of these particular properties are now highlighted. It will do 1, then it will do 2, then it will do 3, and I achieve the kind of animation I want to achieve. So let me do play and see. Now starting, you see, it starts spinning. It keeps spinning for the number of times I want, and when it spins for clockwise, it goes back to anti-clockwise until it exhausts that number of times. Then it is now going to go to expand again. Let's watch it. Right, so it's counting to do 3 times this way, 3 times this way, based on what we have set. Now the next thing is expanding again. Right now we've achieved this. Now let us run this animation, the slideshow, by pressing F5. Let's see. And when I click, my mouse click is going to activate it. Mouse click again, start spinning. Now I have to click again to enlarge. But then what I want to achieve next is to make sure that everything is now automated. You wouldn't have to wait for my mouse click to be able to do this. The moment I click the first time, or I do F5, it starts by expanding, turning several times, and then expanding again. I'll go to automatically. Let's click automatically after a few seconds. Let me do F5. Right. And if you can appreciate what is happening, you can see that the circles are turning exactly with the particular rectangle that they are tied to. So they are not turning independently, they are turning with the rectangle, as if it's like a stamp. The circle is like a stamp on top of the rectangle, and it's spinning, turning several times, then it's enlarging again, and we have achieved what we want to achieve. Thank you so much. In the next lectures, we are going to look at other ways to animate objects and get very fantastic presentation out of it.